The topics are: what is financial mathematics, what is annuity, the timeline, and kinds of annuity. Let's see what is the financial mathematics. Mathematical finance is a field to applied mathematics concerned with financial markets. The subject has a close relationship with the discipline of financial economics, which is concerned with the underlying theory. Generally, mathematical finance derives and extends the mathematical or numerical model suggested by financial economics. What is annuity? The term annuity is used in financial mathematics to refer to any terminating sequence of regular fixed payments over a specified period of time. Loans are usually paid off by an annuity. If payments are not at regular periods, we are not working with an annuity. We got two types of annuity: ordinary annuities and annuity due. Ordinary annuities is an annuity whose payments are made at the end of each period, paying back a car loan, a home loan, etc. The annuity due is an annuity whose payments are made at the beginning of each period. Deposits in saving, rent payments, and insurance premiums are examples of annuities due. If we look at the timeline, we clearly see that if we are looking at investing money into an account, then we will be working with the future value of these payments. This is so because we are saving up money for some use one day in the future. If we want to consider the present value of a series of payments, then we will be looking at a scenario when a loan is being paid off. This is so because we get the money today and pay that money with interest back to the financing company sometimes in the future. This is the graphic. Kinds of annuities. We have four kinds of annuities. These are future value of ordinary annuity, future value of due annuity, present value of annuity, present value of due annuity, and perpetuity annuities. Future value of ordinary annuity. The future value of ordinary annuity is the value that a stream of expected or promised future payments will grow after a given number of periods at a specific compounded interest. The future value of an ordinary annuity could be solved by calculating the future value of each individual payment in the series using the future value formula and then summing the results. A more direct formula is for example, the graphic. Future value of due annuity. The future value of due annuity is identical to an ordinary annuity except that each payment occurs at the beginning of a period rather than at the end. Since each payment occurs a period earlier, we can calculate the present value of ordinary annuity and then multiply the result by 1 plus I, which is interest rate. An example. The graphic. And now, the present value of an ordinary annuity is the value of a stream of expected or promised future payments that have been discounted to a single equivalent value today. It is extremely useful comparing two separate cash flows that differ in some way. Present value of an ordinary annuity can also be thought of as the amount you must invest today at a specific interest rate, so that when you withdraw an equal amount each period, the original principal at and all accumulated interest will be completely exhausted at the end of the annuity. The present value of an ordinary annuity could be solved by calculating the present value of each payment in the series using the present value formula and the summing the result. A more direct formula is for example, let's see the graphic. Then the present value of due annuity. The present value of due annuity is identical to an ordinary annuity except that each payment occurs at the beginning of a period rather than at the end. Since each payment occurs one period earlier, we can calculate the present value of an ordinary annuity and then multiply the result by 1 plus I. So, formula, an example, and the graphic. A perpetuity is an annuity in which the periodic payments begin on a fixed date and continue indefinitely. It is sometimes referred to as a perpetual annuity. Fixed coupon payments on permanently invested sums of money are prime example of perpetuities. Scholarship paid perpetually from an endowment fit the definition of perpetuity. The value of perpetuity is finite because receipts that are anticipated far in the future have extremely low present value of the future cash flows. Unlike a typical bond, because the principal is never repaid, there is no present value for the principal. Assuming that payments begin at the end of the current period, the price of a perpetuity is simply the coupon amount over the appropriate discount rate or yield, that is kinds of perpetuity annuities. The perpetuity annuities are of two kinds. Present value of perpetuity annuities, present value of perpetuity annuity due. An example of present value of perpetuity annuity. The graphic. And then the present value of due perpetuity annuity, which is calculate the present value of following perpetuity, multiply 1 plus I, which is interest rate, and then the graphic. The glossary.